that's hard. That can be really hard to do because we have spent years building those walls up, fortifying them, and receiving love asks us to soften, to let the walls down.
You're listening to Say It Anyway, the podcast for people who know they're meant for more and are done holding back. I'm Maggie Marcus, and here we talk courage, self-trust, and what it takes to lead yourself, even when it scares the hell out of you.
So I'm driving home from my bridal shower. I've got my passenger seat is just got this enormous bouquet that my mom had put out for me. I've got flowers in the back seat, gifts. The whole car is packed with stuff. It's been a beautiful day. You know, I had walked into my parents' backyard. It was gorgeous, just like garden vibes, flowers, colors, just very whimsical. Everything I could have wanted. I had a really good day. But now as I'm driving home, I've got this weird feeling. Like it's kind of, I'm trying to put my finger on it. Like, what is that? You know, I was trying to figure it out. And I don't know if you can relate, right? Like if you've ever had, you know, some people show up for you, right? Like if you've ever been the person being celebrated, you know, if it was a birthday, everyone wanted to love on you and celebrate you, and you're like, no, I don't want to make it a big deal. Like I don't want the attention. Or if, you know, it was a graduation or a housewarming or a job promotion, like there was a reason to celebrate you. And people wanted to pour into you. And while that might be really nice, and you might even really want it and deep down kind of enjoy it, there's still part of you that feels a little weird about it. Like, why is that? And I think even beyond that too, not only do we feel a little weird about it, half the time we are even while we're in the midst of celebrating, we kind of tend to worry about what other people, like how are other people enjoying it? So like and we're like managing other people's experience. We're like making sure that everyone else is okay. Are they having fun? You know, is everything good? When I showed up to my parents' house, you know, the backyard, like everything was, it's like above and beyond. Like my family and friends had been planning this, and they like, some of them had come from out of town, and even like prior to the day, like they had been getting together to plan this. Even the day before the shower, they got together to like decorate. And so I knew that there had been a lot that had gone into this. And when I walked in, it was just, like I said, it was gorgeous. There was just like this big, like, you know, there's flowers everywhere. There was this beautiful table. And one of my asks had been, I love like mismatched plates that like kind of have a cohesive look. Like it was very garden vibes. There was all these different plates that were really cute, different colors, floral. There were like beautiful candles, even like these little fairies and crystals that were like on the table, and lovely like colored linens. And it was just so nice, you know, and then I looked in the corner, and there was this big round table. There was all these desserts, and they had taken pictures of me and my fiance and framed them, and they were all along the table. And then the bar had all these drinks, and one of my best friends, one of my matrons of honor, she had handmade these coasters that were like flour and resin, and like pressed them in. She had handmade all of those as gifts for everyone. And then there were these like, you know, handheld fans that had customized Maggie's bridal shower on the ribbon. And then I walked past the pool towards the gazebo, and there was this huge tower that was like with letters said bride. There were flowers literally dangling from the ceiling of the gazebo. Just all these like beautiful decorations. There were just like fun little things everywhere. There was like a wooden, what's it called? Like a stand, like a big wooden thing my mom had rented and had painted, and it was pink, and it had a big bouquet on it, and it said wildly in love, which was the theme that I had wanted. So that was like a backdrop for photos. And then they had planned all these games, and it was just super fun. And I knew that like so much had gone into that. And I think I was just like shocked, like shocked a little bit, because I was like, it was beyond my expectations, and I absolutely loved it. But underneath, right, like as everyone started getting there, I'm kind of like worrying a little bit. I'm like, is everybody, because some people don't know each other, and I'm like, is everyone gonna get along? I want everyone to have fun. And the day had like, usually it's like really beautiful at my parents' house, but it kind of got a bit foggy and overcast, and it was humid, and then the food ran like 45 minutes late. So everyone was kind of standing there for a little while, like mingling, talking. And I'm getting anxious. Like, I just want everyone to have fun and like have a good time. And I'm worried about the food, that it's late. And then the weather. And I just want to make sure everyone's like getting along. And I want to make sure that everyone who had planned this for me was happy to do it, that they thought it was worth it, and that everyone that came, even my friends who had drove like 1 to 2 hours to get there, that they thought it was worth it to attend. So I think like as I was enjoying it and kind of caught up in the moment, taking lots of pictures and talking, there was also that in the back of my mind. So there was just a lot of emotion throughout the day. And as I was driving home, I think that's when I really started to like let myself process a lot of that. I just felt emotionally overwhelmed by all the love. And then also like what I'll talk about, which is like receiving that love almost was overwhelming in like an uncomfortable, in like a slight way, you know, like there was this weird feeling like as I was driving home, it was almost like a come down where I felt like I had just been expending so much energy, but also I had been the center, right? Like I felt very exposed. And I was thinking to myself, why is receiving love, why does it feel so vulnerable? Why does it feel so uncomfortable sometimes? And I think it's because it requires us being seen, like really being seen, being witnessed, and allowing allowing sustained attention, letting the focus be on us. And that can be really scary and vulnerable because it feels so exposing, especially if you're someone who's tried to minimize and downplay and play small or kind of hide or hold back throughout your life because of a fear of being fully seen. Because being fully seen, and for me and maybe you, has always carried a risk that there was a possibility that if I was seen fully for who I am, not just the life of the party version, the performer girl, the fun one, like if I actually like let myself be seen truly for my heart, my ideas, my opinions, my sensitivity, my rawness, that could possibly invite judgment and criticism on this feeling of not being good enough. Like somewhere along the way, I had learned that being fully seen was a risk. And that meant sort of being on guard, being hypervigilant, kind of scanning rooms and kind of keeping my walls up, sort of keeping people a little bit at a distance, only letting them see what I wanted them to see, only letting them know what I wanted them to know, really controlling image. And I found that even with like the little things, right, where I'm scanning, making sure everyone's, you know, having a good time getting along, or like worrying about the food being late, or that the vibe was off, that the music was off, that would somehow reflect on me, because this was my bridal shower, you know, it was my thing, and this was me being seen in my thing. You know, this was all a reflection of me. So if it didn't go well, or if it didn't measure up, that was on me. That's, you know, that was a reflection of my value and worth. You know, this is the story that is created, especially when this is something that you have learned and been conditioned from when you were younger, that if you're fully seen, then you could be rejected, you could be judged. So there's that fear that pops up, you know, where the body is like on guard a little bit and wants to make sure everything is perfect and everyone's doing good, so that you can look good, so that I could look good, so that people could think that celebrating me and attending things that were for me, that was worth it, worth their time, worth their effort. It's just like, as I say that, I'm like, ugh, how draining and exhausting is that? Like, and a part of me sort of cringes, and still at the same time feels so much compassion and love for myself, because I know that's not me now. That's just a younger part of me that was so scared to show herself, because she was afraid of what would happen. So anyways, this is what causes us to overthink or try to control and manage other people's experience and their perception, rather than just like enjoying being present and receiving the beauty and the love and the full extent of everybody else's efforts who's shown up for you. It's almost such a selfish thing to like be living in my head when everyone has been pouring their heart out to make this so special. You know, this isn't even something I recognized in the moment. It was just something reflecting on afterwards, because I was like, why did I have that weird feeling? And I started realizing all this stuff, that has still come up in some ways. You know, because, you know, if everyone's having fun, then great. That's a reflection on me. Like, that means I'm worth it, you know? And if they're not, that means that maybe I'm not. Maybe they'll think twice the next time that, like, it comes to celebrating me. It sounds so ridiculous out loud, because I know that my people love me and they care about me and they want to make me happy and they want me to be happy. But what happens, you know, internally is what we do is we kind of outsource our worthiness, right? Like, even if everyone has gone out of their way, like, we are outsourcing our worthiness to other people's experience of us, which we can't even control anyways. And it's so silly, because these people are showing you through their actions how much they love you. Like handmade gifts, people are driving, they're here giving you their time and their energy and their resources. And we still somehow need to have them have a good time and like to confirm something that it was worth it, that we're good enough. And here's why this matters. These moments, they're so precious, because this is what life is actually made of. These little moments that we look back on one day and we savor. The new home, the baby shower, the graduation, the job promotion, the wedding. Like, these are the moments that we look back on. And this is the sweetness of life. And so we really want to be there, present, so we can soak it all in and really enjoy it. Because that's what life is about, those moments. So to actually be there, to soak it up, to be present and allow yourself to receive love, it means letting your walls down. And that's hard. That can be really hard to do, because we have spent years building those walls up, fortifying them to protect ourselves from whatever pain or judgment or rejection has come up for us, because we don't want to feel that again. And receiving love asks us to soften, to let the walls down, to relax into our bodies and be present. And for people like me who have lived in their heads their whole life, overthinkers, people who have constantly been managing other people, trying to control, monitoring themselves, monitoring their image, just being in your body and relaxing into it is something that you almost have to relearn. It can feel a little raw. It can feel a little tender and exposed when you do that. That's what I was feeling on the drive home. It was like a come down in some way, because you're not used to just allowing yourself to be seen fully. And you're not used to allowing yourself to just be without managing, without worrying, without trying to give back, and just being in a state of allowance and surrender and just being is something that's very unfamiliar to a lot of people. But especially to someone like me. And if you resonate with me, then maybe you know. But that's what love really requires, is that presence, that allowance, that surrender, that letting the walls come down. Something in my chest just like opens even as I say that. It's just a lifetime of control, a lifetime of hypervigilance, and like really letting that releasing that is such it's such an uncomfortable feeling. But on the other side, it's so beautiful. Like, to be able to give yourself permission to receive the sweetest thing that life has to offer, which is love and connection and presence. So I want to give you permission to receive, to know that it is not your job to make sure everyone is having fun. It is not your job to manage how other people perceive you. It is not your job in those moments to worry about everybody else. It's your job to take it all in, to let it land, to receive, to feel, to be. And cherish that. Soak that in. Like be in the moment and really feel how good that is. How good that tastes, because those moments can be rare sometimes, and they can pass fast. And when you spend them worrying or in your head or just a bit closed off or shut down because the walls are up, then you miss those moments. Especially if you're scared to be vulnerable. Like, being vulnerable, I've learned, is one of the most beautiful gifts that we can give ourselves and others, because it creates such a deep relationship and connection, which is something that we all want. But we've got to be willing to allow ourselves to have it, to give ourselves permission. When people show up for you, when they drove 2 hours, when they've planned an event to surprise you or to make you feel special, when they've handmade some gifts or bought other gifts for you, like, there's your answer. You are worth it. You are enough. You are loved. You just have to let yourself receive it. I didn't realize how hard that was for me to receive until I had that whole day designed for me. Like, I didn't realize, I think maybe a part of me knew, because even when it came to birthdays, there was a part of me that always kind of worried about getting different friend groups together, wanting to make sure that everyone was going to have fun. And even with my bachelorette coming up, there's a part of me that's kind of worried. Like, I was like, oh, I hope, everyone's going to have fun and it's going to be worth it to them, because we're going to actually like travel to a different state and we're going to spend all this money. And like, I hope that they have fun and I'm worth it that they're going to go and have no regrets about it. And that I'm going to let myself really enjoy it instead of worrying about how everyone's doing and make sure that everyone else is having fun. I want to really, this bridal shower is sort of like a sneak preview and to helping me understand that I was still having a little bit of a challenge letting myself soak it all in. And be okay with the vulnerability of it all, because what's coming next is my bachelorette. What's coming next is my wedding. And if this is how I felt in my bachelorette, I can't even imagine my wedding when there's 3 or 4 times as many people. And it's even longer. It's an even bigger event. And so this is my declaration to myself, and what a beautiful thing for me to uncover. And I hope for you to better understand yourself and how you show up in those really special moments where you get to be celebrated. You get to enjoy. It's your day. It's your moment. It's your time. And to let yourself have that fully and receive it, because that is the moment that you're going to look back on, and you want to have been there. You want to have been present. You want to know that you ate it up and that you are worth celebrating, that you are loved, that you are cherished, that people want to be there for you because of who you are in this world. And what a beautiful thing to get to celebrate. So if you have a moment coming up where someone is trying to love you, to celebrate you, to show up for you, I just want you to try something. Just be there. Let your walls down. Let it in. Let it land, because you do not have to earn it. You already are worth it. You are already enough. You are already someone worth showing up for.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit home, spread the love. Maybe share it with a friend or drop a comment. I'd love to know what landed for you. And remember, your voice matters. Whatever you're holding back, say it anyway.